I'm not at home, as you can see. I'm away for a couple of days, and I wasn't going to do any work at all. I was like, no work, no work, no work. But then something so exciting happened that I had to call up Paula, and I actually woke her up from a nap. And she was like, I can't do it now. She was like, I can't do it now. I'm having my afternoon rest. And I was like, but Paula, you don't understand. You don't understand. Kim and Khloe have spoken out about the Photogate at Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party. And at that, Paula's little tabloid brain sparked into life, and there was nothing more she could do. I said, here we are. And this is also not actually live because Ben's not available either. So he's going to edit it all for us later. So it's going to look amazing, Paula. We are going to look amazing. I mean, I'm
excited. Yeah. And by the way, to everyone out there, no, I am not completely geriatric and need my afternoon naps. I do need my afternoon naps, but that is because I do morning television for News Nation. And I'm up insanely early. And so around about, I don't know, like 11 o'clock New York time, I'm like, nappy time.
For rest.
Baby need nappy. Yeah. So, however, then all of a sudden, Tom was like, no. And I knew it was a big deal because he actually called me. And I was like, oh my gosh, when someone calls you, it's almost like the bat phone these days. Like, I better pick that up. Oh, shit. It's either that or someone trying to buy my mother's house in Ohio, which I'm always like, yeah, sure, for $2 million. It's not worth $2 million. So then I heard about this and I was like, yes, hell yes, let's rock.
I've got a friend who whenever you call him, he always just goes, what's happened?
Pretty much. Yeah, that's what texting has done to us. Thanks, technology. Anyway, I was excited because there was so much back and forth, and then people were like, no, you don't know yet. No, because you have the Sussex squad, which likes to come after me, and I'm like, bring it, hoes. However, they're always like, you don't know for sure. You're not a journalist. And I'm like, but I kind of do know for sure. And now we heard it from two of the horses' mouths.
Yeah.
Take it away, Tom.
Okay, well, let's listen to the recording first, as you're all here now. This is the podcast. And then, I mean, look, do we all know the backstory? Should we tell the backstory first to paint the picture and then play the recording? Okay.
Well, we've gone through it before, but it's basically on Remembrance Day, which is the most somber day of the year in the UK. Yeah, Harry flew back from Canada, where he had been doing Remembrance Day stuff, and went to a charity gala, and after that went to the billionaire birthday party, Kris Kardashian's birthday party at Lauren Sánchez Bezos' house, Jeff Bezos' wife, and it was hopping. And there were all these photos taken, and everyone was having a good time. Harry was looking at Kris Kardashian's chest in one of the photos, like, hello. And that was my favorite. And then it was all taken down. And then they were saying from the Sussexes camp, they're like, well, we didn't sign a photo release. Take it from there, Tom.
So, in fact, what they said was they didn't just sign a photo. They didn't just say we didn't sign a photo release. They gave this incredibly complicated excuse, which is that they said that forms were sent out to the guests, as was very common in Hollywood these days, just us schmucks didn't realize. Forms were sent out to guests in which they were asked to tick a box saying whether or not they agreed to social media coverage or not. Right. And that Harry and Meghan had ticked no. I then contacted the Kardashians, as to be fair, did plenty of other journalists, and the Kardashians just came back to me, and I still have the email. They said there were no consent forms. So clearly this whole thing was made up because they said, this was, by the way, about the forms was in response to people like me saying, why have all these photos disappeared from the the internet, the photos of the party. So they gave this incredibly complicated response. Now, I'm told that it was a factor in Meredith Main's kind of reaching the end of her tether with the couple, that she felt that it reflected very badly on her. I haven't explicitly been told that they lied to Meredith, but that seems to me what the implication of those people saying to me that Meredith felt very bad for her would be. And obviously that's a very difficult situation if you're a publicist, to be in a position where people are
lying to you.
Yes, the people you're representing are lying to you. You're really fighting with one hand tied behind your back there. And then, as we know, conveniently, a few months later, read notice period, Meredith Maines quits, right? So, and it was the beginning of a patch of incredibly bad PR for the Sussexes. It was like they couldn't do anything right for day after day after day, for week after week. Now, things have stabilized, I would argue, a little bit this year, but it was really bad. It was like day after day of like terrible coverage. And then this thing came out. And of course, it was so damaging for them because they've always adhered to, well, at the end of the day, if we tell the truth, the truth is our truth and blah, 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 but we are honest and we're going to tell. And it just really exposed them as liars because they'd made up this incredibly complicated lie about form that then didn't exist. Now, we haven't heard the Kardashians speak about it before until now. So here's what Kim and Khloe said. Basically, Kim does all the talking in this clip. It's actually on YouTube, but I would just listen to the audio. Kim does all the talking, and it's Khloe who occasionally sort of joins in and repeats what she says. But it's basically Kim talking. So I hope you can hear this, and potentially Ben, when you do the replay of this, if it doesn't sound good, maybe you could do a more enhanced audio version when you do the proper edit of this. But here we go. Have a listen.
Photogate on Mom's.
It was really innocent, which is so crazy. Mom and Meghan have been friends for some years now, and they have a really sweet relationship. We took a photo, and then I think we were all going through them. We're all, communicating about like what we're going to post. We're never ones to post without permission. We are like, it's not who we are.
We're very respectful.
Yeah, like we have the craziest, funnest photos from that night, but we're.
I've just got an amazing idea. Can I be Kim and you be Khloe, and we're like TikTok-y, like I'll act out Kim and you act out Khloe? Maybe?
Yeah, I'll totally do it.
Okay, we're going to carry on.
We're posting just like fun photos, and so we were totally we were told that it was totally cool to post, and then after it was posted, I think they realized it was Remembrance Day, and they didn't want to be seen at a party even though it's already up, and then taken down. And then I think they realized like, oh, this was so silly.
And they did baby to baby right before.
Well, it's like a charity event, so like that was fine, but maybe not partying and dancing on the dance floor and whatever. So we took them down to respect Remembrance Day.
Yes.
And then you just gotta laugh at like the situation sometimes and just like lighten it up and if everyone's taking it the wrong way, like lean in.
Just like Sheryl Sandberg. Amazing.
Can I just read you some of the bits that I pulled out and you tell me what you think? Because it seems to me like pretty bad. I mean, it's not often you get
caught out in a big fat lie. Yeah, not a lot. A lot of people just let it slide. They're like, we're moving on. But then the Kardashians are like, every click counts.
Yeah.
So they were like, this is amazing. This gives us more reason to go public again. I mean, to be fair, I don't think their show's doing that well on the streamers right now. So, they're graduating. They're graduating from TV to podcasts, and, every click counts. They've got to be at top, and they're making a lot of money. Got to keep it in, and everyone is fodder. So I just think it's hilarious that, Meghan and Harry would try to say one thing. Of course, now they can blame poor Meredith because Meredith ain't in the building. But actually, after this happened, I believe that's when Meredith put in her resignation and was like, yeah, we're done. I still have a career to go. and cannot, because here's the problem, what people don't understand is that it might look like Meghan and Harry are liars, but if you're their PR for a long time, you become the liar. And if you're in press and PR and you're a liar, you're no good to anyone anymore, because you can do what I used to do when people lied to me and say, bling blong, comma, a known liar said, and it's, yeah, it was brutal.
So some of the specific lines that they say that I think feel like deliberate, very hard pushbacks. Like there's obviously, they keep emphasizing this thing about we're very respectful. They both say that, they both chime in and they say that. But they say one very specific thing. They say, we're never ones to post without permission. It's not who we are. I mean, like that seems to me a very specific calling out of what Harry and Meghan said. And I think it also speaks to how they're actually pissed off about what kind of happened in the fallout, which they talk a bit later, because then they also say, and this is very interesting, the implicit threat, we have the craziest, funnest photos from that night, but we were just posting the fun photos. And then Khloé says, the dignified photos. I mean,
you can only imagine, like, was this like Harry in Vegas party? But the other thing is, you'll notice that they do respect people, because there were 0 photos of Jay-Z there. Jay-Z is still trying to keep his head down from the old Puffy fallout and some other stuff. And 0 zip of Jay-Z was posted. I don't remember a Beyonce photo, but also Jay-Z and Beyonce came in the side door. No photographs from the paparazzis. Because, by the way, the Kardashians, the photos were out there anyway because there were paparazzi there. But not from inside the party. Jay-Z, Beyonce went in through the side, clearly said, hey, don't post these. Thank you. You can keep them, but don't post them. And it didn't happen. The Kardashians were like, yeah, of course, we don't want to piss you off.
And I think that's another interesting bit in it. So then Kim says, we were told that it was totally cool to post. And then after it was posted, I think they realized it was Remembrance Day, and they didn't want to be seen at a party, even though it's already up, and then taken down. And then I think they realized, like, oh, this was so silly. Like, it's very, and it's very interesting. I mean, like, Kim Kardashian, has been living her life online for decades at this stage. And she can totally see, how they mishandled the situation. You can see how annoyed she is about it. You can see, like, also, the fact that they were made out to be
the bad guys.
Yeah. Like,
And also, they were made out to be greedy press whores.
Yes.
And they were, there were stories flying around that there were cameras everywhere and it was going to be part of a show, and they had not consented to that. Harry and Meghan just wanted to go and say happy birthday to Kris. Girl, please. I mean, I done.
Yeah.
God bless. But I'm really interested to see how Sunshine Sachs is going to spin this now. No offense. And also, why didn't either of these two mavens, Meghan, who thinks of herself as a PR maven and knows better than everyone else, stop and have a little thinky think and think, yeah, Remembrance Day, it's not going to be good. Not going to be good.
Well, and that again is, of course, the whole question really at the bottom of it all. It's like, if you don't want to be pictured at a party, the real way to make sure that doesn't happen is not to go to the party, isn't it? And
thank you.
Right. And Khloé kind of sticks the knife in here, because she says to Kim, all very innocent, but didn't they do the baby to baby right before, referring to this fundraiser they attended before heading to the party? And then Kim goes, well, that's like a charity event. So that was fine, but maybe not partying and dancing on the dance floor or whatever. And then, very interesting, she says, so we took them down to respect Remembrance Day. A very clever little bit of retaking control of the narrative by, you know, the complete master of past master of, you know, running the narrative on social media,
So
brings
true.
it all back to her. Actually, after this clip, she then says something really funny. She says, do you know what? She basically says, look, they just handled it so badly. They completely overreacted. And actually, you know, what I kind of immediately thought would be really funny would be to do a little promo for Skims where we stick something up for half an hour and then take it down. I was like, that would have been
Genius.
fun.
That would
Yeah.
have been the biggest slam ever. And I might have bought some Skims off that.
Yeah. Exactly. It's so you know, it's such a weird story, I think, this whole story, because on one level, it's sort of, you know, about absolutely nothing, right? It's about a couple of people going to a party and, you know, asking for some photos to be taken down. And on another level, it's sort of everything that's wrong with the whole Sussex brand. You know,
100%.
The sort of fame whoring thing that they've become. And I also, there was one of the Real Housewives who, I think it was Bethany Frankel, who was saying, you know, what are they even doing at this party? Why aren't they hanging out with George and Amal? Like, George and Amal were at their wedding. Those should be their people.
Yeah.
Those should be their people. Like, and, you know, whatever you think of Bethany Frankel, I thought it was quite an interesting observation from somebody who's very in that world, that actually this party, it was good to be, you know, it was important to be, but it was slightly tacky. Compared to like being at Lake Como with George and Amal.
Yeah, well, let me answer that question for you. Number one, George and Amal were never friends with Meghan and Harry. And they have basically alluded to that when at the wedding, somebody said, how do you know the couple? And they go, we don't. We're here for the party. Because guess what? The ultimate real estate porn is, of course, the palace or a royal wedding where you get to go around and see what's in their medicine cabinets. I mean, that's what I would do. Every single bathroom. But they're not friends. And they were never friends. None of those people were really friends. They had not actually met Oprah in person. I believe someone actually reported. It's nuts. So I think at this point, they're like, well, let's go for power instead. And of course, the power is Amazon, Jeff Bezos. There were other people in the room. Reed Hastings, I think, was there. You know, they got to go schmoozy booze. But also, they wanted to be at that party because, you know, again, Jay-Z, Beyonce, all these people were there. If you're nobody in Hollywood, you were not at that party. George and Amal don't actually live in LA anymore. They have a house there, don't live there. But, you know, they're not part of the quiet crowd. They're part of the loud crowd because they need to be. Because nobody wants their crap anymore. So,
yeah, I know. I just felt like this story, you know, from the very beginning, it was just such a weird, like, unforced error, wasn't it? Because actually, like, if they just left it, you know what it really reminded me of? It reminded me a bit of the Coldplay Kiss Cam story, right? If that woman and that guy hadn't gone, no one would have circulated that clip anywhere. Like, you know, and apparently they were even separated from their partners and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, by requesting the photos to be deleted, it's like you just make it into a story. It was just so badly handled, I thought. And then to compound it with this lie about this very, very elaborate lie about these kind of check boxes that obviously, you know, was a major red flag to Meredith Maines. And, you know, it just sort of, I don't know, it's just such a massive unforced error, the whole thing.
right. But let me just say one thing. Here's the one thing that they can do now is because the pictures were taken down, no one can ever refer to the pictures and be like, remember Remembrance Day? What? Or, you know, with the boobs. So now, because they are taken down, the live still stands, all this stuff, but Wooga is down. I just, man.
I don't buy that. I think that actually they've made it much worse. I think those pictures, that's what I'm saying. I think those pictures are much more seen now. I mean, I've just done a story about it on my Substack and I've used the pictures. Do you know what I mean? Like, what are they going to do?
That's true. They are taken down and then.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because.
No, I know, because they're already out there.
Yeah.
They're already out there.
But the point is that you actually, like, legally, and you'll know this, you can't just rip someone's photos off Facebook or what have you, unless there's a reason to do it. But if you're actually writing a story about the fact that these photographs were taken down and have subsequently circulated everywhere on the internet, it's completely fair use to illustrate them with a screen grab of them being recirculated on X. So, like, you know, like, I think they gained nothing. And I think you know, obviously, look, it was a massive miscalculation. It led to a string of, people walking out the door as we saw. And it's, I mean, but it's really like, you never really hear Kim and Khloe, I don't know, like, just
setting the record straight on a big name. I won't say A-list. I won't say celebrity. I'll just say recognizable name. Yeah, usually they keep mum about it. Usually they let it slide. But again, you know what? They got a podcast to promote, and all's fair in love and war, and everyone is content, as we know, for the Kardashians. So God bless, and I applaud them. Thank you, guys.
So can I ask you this question, Paula, like, as a long-time person who's spent a lot of time around these people and writing about these people and writing about this world, I mean, when you're in the situation where Kim and Khloé Kardashian don't really have any qualms about taking you down, criticizing you publicly online, you know, calling you silly, saying that you've mishandled a situation, right. Like, what does that say about your own power?
Not much. But also, I'm wondering, like, what happens? She's desperate to go to the Met Gala, which is obviously being hosted by Lauren Sánchez Bezos. And Wintour's there. Anna is much more of a royal girl. Nobody wants this hijacked by those two. You know, so I think she can kiss that invite goodbye. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because you'd have to think where we are at the moment, you know, you probably wouldn't invite Meghan to the Met Gala because it would become such kind of, like, as we've talked about before, you know, sucking up all the other air in the room, sucking up all the other oxygen in the room.
You'd also have to find a designer who's willing to give her, because, you know, she don't like to give back, give her a $50,000 to $100,000 dress and let her do it while people slam her. Nobody wants to be slammed like that. And I think a lot of people don't really want to be tarnished with that brush right now.
I think the Met Gala might explore the limits of Meghan's unusual contract, saying that she gets to keep every bit of clothing that she's ever worn.
Contract. I think you mean contract.
For her archive, which we've been assured is a rock solid and completely normal thing in the fashion world that no one's ever heard of. But
no one.
There it is.
Yeah. Nor designers. Yeah. Go on.
Yeah. Okay.
It's amazing.
Well, I think that this is it's interesting. I didn't expect this story to come back again. And I think that people are going to be
new life
interested. Yeah. And I think that people are going to be interested to hear their side of the story. And I think that, so I checked in with their Harry and Meghan spokespeople. They said they're not saying anything. As you say, let's wait and see whether there is some pushback through people or, via Sunshine Sacks.
I don't think there will be. I don't think that they are. I don't think they want to go up against the Kardashian machine. I think they're going to try to ride this one out. But I think the repercussions are behind the scenes. Like the Met Gala, do they get invited to more parties? Do they get to, do they get kind of shut out of the scene? I also think it's one of the reasons why they want to go back to England, because they need to really reestablish the royal ties to get the invites and get people to buy the jams. A gift set of jams just came out for Valentine's Day because that's what everybody wants. I mean, if my lover bought me a bunch of jams, he'd be out the balcony, freezing. I'd lock him out. And I'd be like, that's fine, call 911. I'm not letting you back in. Crawl over.
I love you.
With your runny jams.
Jam.
Girl, where my jewelry? Where my chocolates? Where's even my gummies? F your runny jams, yo, for Valentine's Day. That's all I
Meghan can say. One of my favorite things is to check up on the As Ever website occasionally, and Meghan has posted. And Ben, maybe you can find this. She has posted an amazing new picture of herself looking a bit like E.T. wearing the hat. You know where E.T. wears the hat? Anyway, you have to see it to see what I'm talking about. Or maybe a bit more Melania.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's kind of bucket hat, and then there's a kind of menu in front of her. It's kind of weird. It's kind of crazy. But I mean, ultimately, the point is that they don't really have the firepower, right, to go up against the Kardashians. And this is now it. It's like
no, and also why would they? I mean, caught the lie, you move on.
Yeah,
you don't double down.
Yeah, they've had the last word. We're not going to say anything. This is the end of it. We're just going to say, we're going to shut up and be like Marty Supreme, where he has to pull his pants down and get spanked.
Amazing.
But that is basically it, isn't it? It's a public spanking in the, it's a public spanking. And they got no choice but to take it.
You're not kidding.
Out there.
I'm here for it.
Brilliant. Excellent. Lovely to see you. Thanks very much for doing this. Ben, thanks for your brilliant editing, which I'm sure is going to be great. Everybody,
love you guys.
Thanks for coming, Paulie. You can go back to your nap now.
All right. I'm done with you, Tom. Goodbye.
Love you. Bye.